Now, I'm sure you could tell those clips before, my hair was really wet. It was early in the morning. Now it's then dried out. It's 3:30 in the morning. Now, the reason why I am so persistent on this, because I want everything to be so, like, come out natural. I don't want it to be, you know, scripted. I kind of wanted everything to come out of my heart. Now, I'm going to jump right back into where I had left off. I told you, you know, my childhood. I told you how I married Michael, you know, a little blinded. I told you about Sophia's issue and how we struggled. And now I am pregnant with my second child. And that was one of the roughest times. I don't even know if roughest is the word. But that was one of the most difficult time in my life. Me and Michael were not doing well. As I mentioned before, he had checked himself into rehab. You know, I felt the fact that, you know, my parents did it, my dad did it, you can do it too, why can't you do it? And I've come to realize that everybody is different and in their own ways, obviously. And for me, for him to check himself into rehab, I felt like he was being a coward. Like, okay, you're just gonna get up, you're the provider of this household, you're just gonna get up and you're gonna leave me and your daughter? Like, what are we supposed to do? So I was very upset, and apart with everything that I have been through in my life, that really made me upset. That really made me mad. That was pretty much my breaking point with Michael. At this point, I was with him because I felt sorry for him. Who's gonna want to take him in? His mom, you know, and dad. Obviously, they're his parents and they're there to help him, but they, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't really have the choice. It was just like, okay, you know, you can come stay with us. But I was with him not because he was my husband and because, you know, I cared about him. I don't want to say that I didn't necessarily care about him, because I did, but to a certain extent. I was with him at this point just because I felt bad for him. And that really put a strain on our marriage, because I was not treating him, you know, as a husband, because I felt like he didn't have the right. He wasn't in the husband category anymore because of everything that he put me through. And if I sat here and told you story after story after story, it'll just probably make you guys mad at Michael and probably question why I'm even still here. But in reality, that doesn't really matter, because this is my marriage, this is my life. Everything that me and Michael have accomplished, we've done it together, and I'm so proud of us. But back to my stories, you know, about him being in rehab, you know, dealing with my childhood, dealing with my parents, dealing with getting married to Michael, to the drug issue, to my daughter having Down syndrome supposedly, and then which thank God she didn't, and then now I'm pregnant and we still have nothing to our name. We have no money, we have bills piling up still, and my husband is still addicted to drugs, and he pretty much relapsed, and this time it was bad. He relapsed really bad, and I just became very numb to the situation. I became very angry. I was very mad. At this point, I didn't even cry anymore when things were happening to me. I was just like numb to the situation. It was weird. I just got into a place in my life that I did not care about nothing, literally nothing, and it really ate away at me. It really, as much as I portrayed that I didn't care or I didn't really need anybody in my life, it really was dawning down on me, because I wanted Michael to get himself straight. I wanted to have a successful marriage. I wanted to have, you know, him be a great father, but his addiction was just taking over. And you know, it was just a really tough time for us. In 2016, I decided that I didn't want to be married anymore. I decided that I didn't want to be with Michael anymore because he couldn't get himself together. He was just, weighing down on us financially, and I just, emotionally, he was just not in the position to be the lead of the house. And I finally told him, I don't want to be with you. I think we should go our own ways. And, I kicked him out of the house. He went to go stay with his mom and dad, and I was home by myself with Sophia. And honestly, I believe it was harder on me than it was on him to have that happen. I didn't want him to not be in the house. I mean, I still loved him, but I just felt that at some point I had to put my foot down to make him realize that I was serious, that I'm not gonna just put up with something just because I have to. And we separated, and I became very angry, and at this point I wanted nothing to do with nobody. I rarely even spoke to two of my closest cousins. I wanted to talk to nobody. I stopped going to church for about a year or two. I didn't want to talk to my cousins. I didn't want to talk to my friends that I had. I didn't want to talk to his parents. I didn't want to talk to the people at church. I didn't want to talk to the pastors. I didn't want to talk to nobody. At this point, I was very upset, and I felt like everybody was in our business, but they were just in our business to be in our business. They weren't in our business to try to work something out. And now I realize that really, in reality, that was something that me and him had to work out. And I think that we just let the situation grow bigger than it should have. And we, as a married couple, did not talk it out. We did not hear each other out, because we were both the same. We were both hard-headed. We were both naive and young and dumb. I can't stress that enough. We were young and dumb. And every time Michael had a slip up, because we would drug test him at home, every time he had a mess up or screw up, sometimes I didn't even have to do the drug test because I just knew that he was, he wasn't going to pass the test. I just knew. And every time that happened, it was always something, either you gotta leave the house, or I'm not gonna talk to you for a certain amount of days, and we're not gonna do this, and you're not gonna do that. And the fighting every single day, it was something. Every single day it was something. And I feel really bad for my daughter, Sophia, because she's seen a lot that she shouldn't have. And I pray to God that she never remembers anything. I've never asked her because I don't want to bring in those feelings again, or those emotions, if she does remember. But I feel really bad. And it's true that they say that your first child pretty much learns, that's like your learning child. I feel like I don't think anybody is ever prepared to be a mom and dad. I don't think the age matters, if you're financially stable. I just don't think that anybody is ever ready to be a mom and dad. And you kind of just have to learn as you go. And I'm so thankful that, despite Michael's drug issue, he never physically beat me, or he never, cussed me out in front of Sophia. Like, he never mistreated me. He just was always high. And he was this person. And just really quick, briefly, when I first met Michael, he was already addicted to these. I just had no idea. I thought it was just drinking and smoking. I didn't know he was addicted to these. And I met him one way. That's a huge factor, because that played a huge factor in our marriage. I met him one way. I fell in love with him acting this way. When he went to rehab and he was clean for a few months, it was a whole different Michael. I was like, it's so hard for me to adjust this, because this is not who I fell in love with. Finally, fast forward to him relapsing, he was back to how he used to act. But this time, because I wasn't, letting him have any money. His dad wasn't letting him have any money. Just because we weren't enabling him, it was harder on him. So sometimes he would have it, sometimes we'd have to deal with his withdrawal, sometimes he'd have it again. So it was just kind of like an ongoing cycle, again, I decided that I didn't want to be married anymore. I didn't want to be with him no more. Oh yes, and let me make this clear, because I don't want this video to be it's all about Michael, it's he's a screw up. No, I don't want it to be about that. Now, because my marriage, because my marriage was falling apart and me and Michael couldn't get it together, Michael was not giving me the attention that I needed. I did, and this is the first time that I mentioned this, I did come into communication with somebody that I should not have. It was just mutual. It was not mutual. How could I say it? I mean, if you're married and you're texting somebody and you have to delete messages, no matter what the messages are, whether they're good or bad, it's wrong, because you're married and you should respect your husband or you should respect your wife, vice versa, however it goes. And because me and Michael were having so much issues, I confided in another man. We text and we talked all day long. Honestly, it wasn't something, God, I can't believe I'm saying this. It wasn't something like sexual, and it wasn't nothing stepping over boundaries, but the fact that I was text messaging another guy when I'm married, it's wrong. And I've come to accept that. And I've told Michael about it, and of course we had our big argument about it, and I told him everything that we spoke about, and this is very uncomfortable. Okay, so and I'll be honest, because my marriage, and it makes it no excuse, ladies or men, whoever wants to take this advice, it don't make it no excuse. Because your relationship, your marriage is falling apart, or because your husband is not giving you the attention that you need, it doesn't make it right for you to confide in somebody else of the opposite sex to find that attention. Because I hear a lot of people say that, oh, well, because my boyfriend don't talk to me like he should, or doesn't treat me like he should, well, so-and-so's gonna, I confided in him. You know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. So because our marriage wasn't working and I didn't want to be with Michael, I started exchanging text messages with somebody that I shouldn't have. And literally, honestly, it didn't last not even a month. It was something really short, and it's something that was cut off really fast. And I'm so glad, because in my mind, I wasn't doing nothing bad. I wasn't doing anything. I was not seeing this guy. I was just text messaging. But because I've seen so many marriages destroyed over this, because it all starts with a text message, and if you start deleting text messages, you are in the wrong. I don't care if it's right or wrong, you are in the wrong. And to be honest, if I see a girl messaging my husband, whether it's good or bad, I'd be wanting to know, why is this person messaging my husband? So of course, Michael was upset, and I think honestly that hurt him too. And I think that was kind of like a flashlight that turned on and let him know, okay, I gotta do something. And honestly, since that day that, I came clean to him about it, and obviously he was upset and he was mad and he had his choice of words to say, he's always been like, you need to be honest with me. You need to be honest on how you feel. You need to be honest if you feel a certain way. You need to be honest if I'm doing something wrong, and just let me know. So we learned to fix that issue and to resolve that. So before everybody thinks this whole video is just about Michael and the wrong, trust me, I did a lot of things that I shouldn't have, that being one of them. And because So that's, you know, an issue as well that we had to deal with. And now that I can talk about it, because of our relationship is such in a great spot right now, before I could kind of think about this kind of stuff and I'd just cry. Now I could just talk about it and it really don't hit a certain spot no more. I think that I've just healed from a lot of things over these past years. And back to 2016, you know, I decided that I didn't want to be with Michael. I had sought out a divorce attorney. We talked everything about divorce and custody of the kids. I was pregnant at the time. It was just so stressful. It was the most stressful time of my life. And because it was such a hard time, I decided that I wanted to walk away from this marriage. I didn't want to be married. Marriage was not for me. I'm not sure who all knows all this other than my in-laws and my mom and dad. But that was something that was really hard on me. I don't know about you guys or the people that are in the Hispanic culture, Mexican culture, because I'm Mexican. We are very prideful. And I feel like the Hispanics, the Mexicans, again, because I'm Mexican, we have to hold up to a certain standard for our parents. And I felt like at this time of life, I hadn't finished, I don't know if I had finished my AA degree or not. I had accomplished nothing. I was just struggling with my marriage and my finances and life altogether. And I felt very down because I felt like, okay, now I'm gonna get a divorce. What is my dad gonna think about me? What is my mom gonna think about me? What is my family gonna think about me? So that was just something that I had to deal with. I felt like I was just a disappointment to my father. I felt like I was just a huge disappointment because I at this point I hadn't accomplished nothing in life. And I had finally told Michael that I had set up a meeting, an appointment with a divorce lawyer. And of course he was very upset about that. Why do you want to do that? Are you sure? Yes, I'm done. I've had enough. And I think that is when he finally realized that he was done. His chances were out and he had to figure something out. And he finally was like, I'm sorry and I'll change, I promise, just give me another chance. And I was like, nope, I am done. So long story short, I didn't seek out the divorce, obviously. He moved back in with me. We were separated for a few months. He moved back into the house in November. It was Sophia's birthday in November of 2016. Sophia was turning 3. Man, she was turning 3. And he finally slowly started to get himself together. And also too, when I was pregnant with Layla, I had a condition with my liver, and it's called cholestasis of pregnancy. And because of that, I got really sick, and I needed somebody to stay with me. So Michael ended up coming back home with us in November of 2016. And despite everything that happened, we were getting along. He finally straightened out and decided that he didn't want to be on drugs anymore. And things were looking up. Everything was going great, and I finally still wasn't going to church. I wanted nothing to do with church and nothing to do with the people there. Well, come January 31st, I go in to have my beautiful, sweet little girl, Layla Johnson. She was born on January 31st at 5 in the morning, and she was healthy. Nothing was wrong with her at all. I finally was like, okay, now I'm relaxed, despite Michael's drug issue, we're relaxed, Layla's healthy, everything's going great. Actually, the day after, I am like really tired. Apparently, I lost a lot of blood and I had to get a blood transfusion, but other than that, I was feeling great. I could not wait to get home and cuddle with the baby, and life was just going great. Actually, That weekend I had her, I believe, on a Tuesday morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law, Eli and Marissa, were getting married that weekend. So I was looking forward to, like, I feel great. I can't wait to go to this wedding, have a good time, celebrate with them, with a new baby. And we did. We had a great time at the wedding. And then come February 2nd, it was on a Tuesday, February 7th, sorry, not 2nd, February 7th was a week later. And that day I finally decided to get out the house and run some errands and do things around town. Pay bills, check the mail, clean the house, all of that. 4 o'clock came around. I think I already had dinner cooked. 4 o'clock came around and I went to my mom's house just to hang out and chill. Now, because of my pregnancy, I had that liver condition. I had a really strict diet. I hadn't had no soda the whole pregnancy. Well, that February 7th was the first time I had a Dr. Pepper and a pack of crackers. I'll never forget it. And around 4 o'clock, dinner was cooked already, just waiting on Michael to get home. He didn't get home till about 6. 4 o'clock, I went to my mom's house with the girls, and we had a good time. We talking, chit-chatting and whatnot. And then around 5 o'clock, I told my mom, you know, I'm going to go ahead and go home. Michael, you know, should be home. I'm going to go ahead and warm up the food. I'll talk to you later. So I left my mom's house, and literally about, I don't know how many feet I could tell you, but, you know, right down her street's a stop sign. I started feeling really bad, really weird chest pain. I wouldn't call it chest pain. I just started feeling very weird. That's all I can say. I started feeling very weird. And I'm like, what the heck? Now, mind you, I haven't had soda. So I'm like, maybe it's the soda that, you know, I shouldn't have had this soda. My liver's probably reacting. Why did I do that? Oh, and because I wanted to breastfeed the baby, I took a vitamin, I don't know, a supplement, I can't think of the name, sorry, but I took a supplement to help with my milk flow. So I took that also that day in the morning time. So I got home, and I just, as time went on, I felt very weird. It's 5:10, I feel very weird, and I called Michael and I said, hey, I think I'm having a reaction to this milk flow. That's what it was called. It's a supplement called milk flow. And I was like, I think I'm having a reaction. What should I do? Because he was very experienced in drugs. So I called him and I said, what should I do? He's like, drink some milk, or I forget what else he said, but his main thing was to drink some milk. So I said, okay. So I went to the restroom, or to the kitchen, and I chugged some milk and I put it back, and it was not working. And I was like, what if I just sit down? Nothing was working. And I was like, what if I just lay down? What if I just take a nap? Maybe I just need a nap. So he called me back. How are you feeling? I said, I don't know. I just feel very weird. Like, I feel, my chest feels weird. I don't know. I feel very hot. I said, something's not, I just don't feel right. And then he's like, well, you need to call poison control. And then I'm like, okay. I said, maybe I just need to take a nap, and I hung up. Well, I called my mom, and I told my mom, at this point, it's like 5:20-ish, and I am already feeling like, okay, I gotta throw up. I felt very anxious. I felt hot. I felt very nervous. I called my mom. I said, Mom, can you please come over here? Something's not right. I don't feel good. She goes, yeah, I'll be there. Just give me a few minutes. Okay. Well, time was just going on. I felt really bad. My mom finally got there like around 5:30, and she saw that I was not feeling good, and she's like, why don't you just call the ambulance? Why don't you just call 911? I said, no, I don't want to do that. I think I just need to take a nap. Can you just take the girls? And she's like, no, let's just call 911. What's it gonna hurt? You don't have to go back to work tomorrow. Let's just call 911 and let them check you. You know, better safe than sorry. Okay. So we called 911 around like 5:30-ish, 5:40. And we have moved so many times. Those that know us know how many times we've moved. I'm not even gonna go in detail about how many times we've moved. But we've moved so many times. So what we did when we called 911, we gave them our old address, because it was on the same Avenue H in Moorhaven, but it was down one street and we were down on the other street. So we gave them the wrong address. So the ambulance never got to the house. So we're like, what's going on and what's going on? And we're calling 911 again, and they're like, they're down at the other one. So Clyde's like, at that time my father-in-law had arrived as well, and he was just like, well, let's just go in the truck, I'll just take you to the hospital now because you don't look good. And then I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I walk out and I tell my mom, I said, there's the baby, there's Sophia. Luckily I had all her room organized, I had her diaper bag full. Here's her diaper bag, everything is there, just please take her. Okay, no problem. So mom started getting worried, and she followed us down. Well, when we got outside to Clyde's truck, we could see the ambulance and stuff down the street. So Clyde's like, just hop in and I'm gonna take you down there. So that's what he did. He took me down the street, put me in the hospital bed or in the back of the ambulance truck, hooked me up to all kinds of stuff. You're just having a panic attack. You're just having a panic attack. You're okay, you need to relax. You need to relax because you're just having a really bad panic attack. When my mom got home, or when my mom got to the ambulance, she's like, there's no way she's having a panic attack. There's no way, that's not a panic attack. Yeah, she's very accelerated right now. Once she comes down, she'll be fine. So because they were making the ambulance people were kind of making me feel like I was kind of crazy. I was like, okay, this pain is nothing. Like, I'm just exaggerating. If I just go to sleep, I'll be okay. And about 5 to 10 minutes in that hospital, I keep saying hospital, in that ambulance bed, this machine, the EKG, started going off and started printing a whole long sheet of paper. And they look through it and they start to panic. They're like, oh my gosh. They started talking in their code. They started hooking me up to IV. We're gonna have to take her to the hospital. And at this time, Michael was already there, but he was not on the outside. And it was just pure chaos. From that moment on, it was pure chaos. And they're rushing me to the hospital at this point. My mom goes to get to my dad, and my mom notifies my whole family that I'm getting rushed to the hospital. Nobody knows what's going on. They're just rushing me to the hospital. And we're in Clewiston Hospital, and everybody's running crazy. Never in my mind did I think to ask what is going on, what is all the commotion. I just was feeling very, I felt so much pressure. I felt like somebody had grabbed me like this and would not let me go. That's what I felt. I felt heavy. And but never in a million years would I ever have thought it was my heart. And everybody was running around. The doctor was running in and out, and our lovely Dr. Carroll finally gets there, and he's finally able to explain, or not explain, he's finally, he wants to see what's going on. He wants to see the notes, he wants to see the charts, and he's trying to figure things out. He figures out what's going on, and honestly, I can't really go into details on that part, like what happened behind the scenes with him notifying the family, who notified the family, because I haven't really asked. But still, there in hospital, I didn't know that it was my heart. Our pastor got there, Pastor Chuck. Oh my gosh. Now, remember I told y'all I wanted nothing to do with church. I wanted nothing to do with the church people, nothing. Pastor Chuck was there for me from the beginning until I had to be taken away. Like, he was there the whole time. And Pastor Chuck, if you're watching this, man, I'm so thankful for you, because all you and Pastor Karen tried to do was to help us, to help me and Michael. And because I couldn't take the getting onto, and because I couldn't take the advice that you guys were giving me, I became very angry and very mad. And I wanted nothing to do with you guys. And in reality, you guys just wanted to help us. And because I was just so hard-headed, I didn't see that. And for me to see Pastor Chuck there with me when I haven't seen him in 1 to 2 years, and I wanted nothing to do with him, he was there for me. And up until this day, that means so much to me, because he could have easily been like, as disrespectful as she's been, as hard-headed as she's been, I'm not gonna show up there. But he was there, and he fought his way back into the room, and he was there for me, and that meant so much to me. Pastor Chuck, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart if you're watching this. And so he was there, and again, through that whole time, I never thought anything of my heart. I just was wanting to know what the heck was going on. I still thought that I was having like a reaction to the medicine. So eventually Dr. Carroll walks into the room, and he tells me that I'm gonna have to be rushed to, I'm gonna be airlifted to Palm Beach Gardens, and that they're gonna do a cath lab, and he's explaining everything that they're gonna do to me. And I'm just in tears, freaking out, because nobody's gonna be able to ride the helicopter with me. I'm gonna go by myself. And what about my girls? What about Michael? Can Michael ride with me? Nope, you're just gonna be by yourself. So I was worried, because nobody was telling me what was going on, and nobody wanted Michael to come with me. So finally, I'm airlifted from Clewiston to Palm Beach Gardens, and I get there, and it's the same. Everybody's rushing. At that time, one of my brother-in-laws and my sister-in-law were living in Palm Beach, Royal. Sorry, I got a speech impediment, so certain words I can't say. Royal Palm Beach. Tim and Jennifer were living there, and by the time I got to the hospital and they took all my clothes off and hooked me to their monitors and put me in their robes and whatnot, they told me that they missed me by 1 minute. I just wanted to see somebody there that I knew. I kept asking, where's my husband? Where's my parents? Is my brother and sister-in-law here? My brother-in-law and sister-in-law here? What is going on? We can't tell you that. The doctor will talk to you. At this time, we don't have time to look for anybody. They're waiting on you. You have to go now. So I'm like, well, what's going on? I want to see somebody that I know. I want to see my family. And while I'm laying there, having no control whatsoever, I began to pray to myself, and I began to pray and ask God to just give me the peace that I need. I don't know what's going on, but just help me. And I was so nervous as they were doing everything to me. I was just nervous, and I remember asking one of the nurses, where's my family? And she's like, sweetie, you were airlifted. You were here way faster than them. She's like, it's about a 2 to 2.5 hour drive. It's a long drive. And she's like, it's gonna be a while before they can get here. And I just remember crying, and the nurses telling me that I needed to calm down because I didn't have the health, like my health was not good for me to be crying. And it's like, you know, I just want to see my family. I just want to see my husband. I want to see somebody that I know. Finally, they take me into the cath lab, and they do the procedure that they need to do, and come to find out that I had a heart attack. One of my arteries dissected. And the doctor finally, after the procedure, he came up to me. He's like, we found out what's wrong with you. And I said, okay. And he's like, you had a heart attack. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, one of your arteries, your left artery dissected. And he explained all that. And he's like, I went in on a Tuesday, and he said, I'm gonna give you these, you're gonna be on this medicine up until Friday morning, and then if sometimes this artery can kind of detach back, it'll get back together, and I'm gonna give it till Friday, and if it doesn't, then we're gonna have to do another cath lab, and you're gonna need stents, or you're gonna have to need a what is it called, pace monitor. you know, one of the monitors that go in your heart. And he told me there, no more babies, don't think about it. This is all having to do with your pregnancy. We don't know exactly what happened, but you know, just kind of briefly that this happened because of your pregnancy. So I said, okay. I said, is my husband, asking for my husband. And I was asking for my husband again, and he's like, somebody from the back room was like speaking over the intercom. They're like, oh yeah, sweetie, you have a room full of people here waiting to see you. And I got so happy. I'm like, finally, my family has made it, finally. And I remember them taking me out, wheeling me out in bed. And they told me that I could not stress. I couldn't do pretty much nothing from that Tuesday till Friday, because my heart was very weak and I was at risk of going into cardiac arrest, and that I just couldn't do nothing. Finally, whenever I was wheeled out, I was able to see my sister-in-law Jennifer, just in case if you're watching. She came out the room and she asked me, how was I feeling? And I just told her I was really scared. I said, I'm really scared. And I remember just bawling my eyes out, and she stepped down and she gave me a hug and a kiss, and she told me that, you know, everything was gonna be okay. And at this time I was starting to see all my, you know, my in-laws come out the room, and I seen Michael, and I was just so scared. I didn't know what was gonna go on. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I was just really scared. Finally, I'm in ICU for 2 weeks or so. They put me in the ICU, and we can only see my family members one by one because I couldn't get worked up. They didn't want me crying. And my aunt and my uncle Chente were there. My aunt Linda was there. My cousins were there. All of Michael's brothers were there except for Eli and Marissa, because they were honeymooning. And my parents were there. My mom's sister, which is my aunt Kika, and her boyfriend were there. My grandparents made it as well. A lot of people came that night, and that also meant a lot for me, because at this time, we're talking now like 11 o'clock at night, and this was a 2-hour drive. So that meant a lot that they took that time to come up there to see me. And I could not see my girls. The girls could not come into ICU. So that was already hard as it was, especially with Layla being only a week old. That was really hard on me. And that was on a Tuesday night. Wednesday, I was really sad. I was really sad all day. Now, I was really questioning God. That why is this happening to me? Why? Like, I've had enough. Like, I am so done with life. I am so done. Why is God letting me go through this? Why is God putting me through this? And it was all a shock to me. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. And Wednesday night, I believe at that time we were having service every Wednesday night. I'm not for sure. We were having service. There was service that Wednesday night. And the church was live streaming it right through Facebook Live. So I had logged into Facebook, and I was like wanting to see this. Now, mind you, I have not been to church at that time for about a year or two. I had not been to church at all. And I never even watched online, the live. Like, I wanted nothing to do with church. And that night service was on, and I started watching the service online. And I turned it on when worship had already started. And I remember just thinking to myself, man, how I wish I could be at church right now, worshiping God, than being here in ICU with my heart failing. And that's when I told I prayed and I told God, if you give me one more chance at life, if you give me just one more chance, if you let me live this, if you heal my heart, I will come back to church. I will work on my marriage. I will be the best wife, and I will serve you. If you just give me this one chance, just heal me. And I began to just pray, and God, please just heal my heart. God, I'm too young to be going through this. I was 24 years old at the time. It's like, something's got to give. I can't do this. Just please, God, just heal my heart. Just heal my heart. That was on a Wednesday. Friday, I went in for the cath lab again, and they put in 3 stents. And then I was so upset about that, but they had, something that they had to do. They did 3 stents, and come Tuesday, because it was actually a week later, after they did tests and whatnot to see if the stents were working. So my ejection fraction was really low, and the ejection fraction that I needed to be at was like in the 50s. I was at a 13 or 12. A week after I had my heart attack and the stents and all that, my heart rate was back. My ejection fraction was at 50%. 1 week away from that heart attack, I was completely back to normal as if nothing ever happened. Within that week, they had told me that I had to wear a life vest. And that was because my heart was so weak. I was at risk of going into cardiac arrest, and this machine was gonna, I forget the word, but pretty much like shocks me. I don't know what the word is, but I had to wear this monitor for a month. They originally told me it was gonna be 3 to 6 months. And a week after my heart attack, guys, my heart was back to normal, pumping as if nothing ever happened. Oh, I was so happy. I was so happy. I was finally gonna be able to get home, go bond with my baby, who was 2 weeks at the time. I was so excited. I get released either Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, I don't remember. Well, Friday I start feeling pain again, and I start, feeling really tired, really weak. And then my mom's like, if you need to go, you're not in no position to risk it, just go. What doesn't hurt for them to check you? I ended up going. Well, now they're saying that my stents did not work and my ejection fraction is low again, and I'm gonna need another cath lab to see what's going on. Long story short, I had to get another stent placed in, and I didn't really question God because I was happy that I had come this far, but I was a little upset. I had to spend another week in ICU, and finally, I was able to go home. I had to be on a strict diet. I had to, go to a whole bunch of doctor's appointments. Well, about a month in, I went to go see my cardiologist, and they had to do test after test after test. And finally, we get results, and my heart is back to normal. My heart is healed. They don't know what is going on. They don't know how this even happens, because this never happens. And in their words, this never happens. And I remember me and Michael telling the doctor, like, yeah, it does, and it's God, and it is prayer. And she's like, okay, if you believe that. And I'm like, oh yeah, we believe that. You better believe we believe that. And and I believe that also was a wake-up call for Michael to, kind of get it together, And ever since then, you guys, I'll be so honest. I'm not perfect, and we do, we backslide, but ever since then, it's been up, it's been just going up. Like how the Spanish people say, like, puro pa adelante. Like, it's just been going forward, nothing. We're not going back anymore. We're not going to dwell on the past. And, I am so thankful, and I'm so grateful that God has healed my heart. And I just want to live and serve as a testimony to other people, just so you guys know that no matter what life throws at you, we are stronger than we think. And the stuff that I've been through in my life, I'm just you know, it's made me stronger. It's made me stronger. It's made me a stronger person. All right, so I totally finished this last video and I had to restart, or I had to redo it because the battery went dead and nothing saved. So just kind of to wrap it up, so like I was saying, you know, we just have to continue to go forward. We have to continue to, you know, be strong, because we're a lot stronger than what we think we are. And you know, me and Michael have put so much work into our marriage. He's been putting his part. He's been doing a lot better. Obviously I never did a divorce because we're happily married now. We're gonna be 7 years married this December, and I'm just so proud of him. I'm so proud of the man he has become. I'm so proud of the husband he has become. And again, I cannot stress this enough. You know, we are stronger than what we think we are, how we think we are. We are much stronger. And so yeah, I'm just really proud of Michael. I'm so proud of how far he has become. And my father-in-law always tells us that, you know, he's told us before that people are gonna start to envy you guys because of everything you guys have been through. You know, in the natural, you should not be together. We should not be together, but here we are. We're kicking it. We're happy. And again, you know, we're not perfect, but we are 100 times better than what we were when we first got married. And I love that man with all of my heart. I love him with everything in me. He's awesome. He is the best drummer in the world. He makes me so proud. He is an awesome husband. He's an awesome father, and he's an awesome worker, and I'm just very proud of him. I'm super proud of him. I cannot stress this enough, and he is gonna be blushing when he's editing this video. Babe, you are so cute. You are awesome. I'm so proud of you. I thank you for getting up every day and going to work and providing for me and the girls. I thank you for everything that you've done for us. I thank you just for being you, and you never change for nobody, and that's just what makes you Michael Johnson. And I love you so much from the bottom of my heart. I love you so much. I'm so proud of you, and I cannot stress that enough. And anyways, so now I'm just gonna wrap up this video. I am probably gonna open up a can of worms, you know, and that's okay with change. You know, people don't like change. People don't like for certain things to be out, and that's okay. I am willing to take this risk because I have so much inside of me that I'm ready to get out. I honestly, it's been and this is gonna be like a shocker to people, but honestly, I've always wanted to speak. I just kind of ran away from it because I didn't want to, you know, be, you know, in ministry or none of that, but I've always wanted to be a speaker. I just didn't know if I had the skills to do so, or if I could talk in front of people, because I'm just a big crybaby. But after all these years that have passed, you know, I've prayed about it, and I've cried about it, and I've questioned, you know, Michael, like, you know, why me, or, you know, just over the years I've pretty much healed. And I think I'm ready to take on this new journey. And just real quick, for the ladies out there, even the men, there's anybody out there, you guys, that are kind of went through what I went through, like with being molested, or whatever you may have been going through, and you know it's not right, but you're scared to say something, speak to somebody that you confide in. Speak to, if you go to church, speak to your pastor, speak to an elder, to a member, not a member, sorry, can't speak to anybody. Speak to a leader, speak to somebody at the church that could help you. There's help all around you. It's just, it's within you if you really want the help. Don't hold on to your grudges. Don't hold on to your past. Don't hold on to any negativity. Just like I heard on a podcast actually today, when somebody comes into your life and they just want to gossip or have drama and be like, what do you think about so and so? You say, I don't think nothing. I have enough drama in my life. I don't need to be thinking about other people's drama. And that's something that I'm setting myself for the rest of from here on out. I want to just focus on my husband and my children, because they are my number one priority. And it's not fair to them that I have to be dwelling on people's problems or their issues, because it has nothing to do with me. I have issues of my own. And again, back to what I was saying, if you're going through something, seek help. It does you no good to hold on to it and it's just eating away at you every day. Seek the help that you need. If you're underage, confide in your parents. You may not think that they're gonna they may not believe you, or they're just gonna think you're crazy or something. If that's the case, then seek somebody else. But find the help that you need. Don't live every day, letting it eat away at you. It's not worth it. Again, like I've said, we are stronger than we sometimes think we are. And so, with that being said, me and Michael are doing awesome. We are living the best marriage. We have been able to do things that we never were able to do, like in the beginning of our marriage. It's been great. I'm so proud of the family that we have become. I'm so great of how far we have become. Again, I'm so excited for this journey. I want to start speaking more. I don't know what else I have to do after this kind of vlog, but I am going to just kind of pray. I'm going to pray and just kind of seek guidance from God, read the Bible, read my devotions, and just kind of get a little closer to God, because at some point I was very distant, and slowly I've just kind of been, moving forward. But I want to just kind of dedicate myself, and I want to help. Mainly my main focus is to help women, to help girls, young girls and women, because I was once there, you guys. I was once there, and I was once feeling hopeless and feeling guilty and feeling everything in the book. And I want to be that motivator, mentor. I just want to be that person that somebody can confide in. And with that being said, if anybody just wants to kind of message me privately, they can email me. You guys can email me. My email, I don't know how all this works, but I know in some of the vlogs that I watch, they say the email's going to be right here, or the email's going to be right down here, or whatever. So if you want to email me, you are more than welcome to. I will read the emails and I will respond to them. If you know me personally and you have my phone number, send me a text, because I don't answer phone calls. I hate taking phone calls. I'm a millennial, guys. So no, if you really want to message me, all right. So you guys just stick with positive vibes, please. Don't question. I mean, I left names out for a reason. Don't question. Don't call me or message me questioning who did what. Don't call and message my parents and asking them, or my close cousins. I've already addressed issues with them. Not issues, but I've already addressed everything with them. And honestly, I've addressed this video before it went public. I have addressed it with my close family members that I hold dear to my heart. So don't go questioning them. Really, details, it's really none of your business. Just send positive vibes, because this is never easy on everybody. This is really hard. This is a really touchy subject. A lot of the times it's not talked about. Don't go questioning people. Don't go wondering what's going on. If you don't know, it's for a reason. Just send positive vibes, please, because that's all I'm really looking forward to. I know this is very uncomfortable for a lot of people, a lot of family, but it's okay, guys. We move forward by doing this. We have to be honest with ourselves, and we have to just continue to move forward and just seek guidance. And that's what I want to do. I want to move forward with my life. I want to start something new. I want to know, I want to help young girls, and I want to help young ladies that were where, you know, that are in the position that I once was years ago. And yeah, so if you want to send me a message, you can leave your comments down below. I'll be reading them and I'll try to respond to them. I don't have my own YouTube channel. I'll be responding through my husband's, but if you want me to message you, if you want to message me, again, my email will be posted below. You can email me, and that ends up the video, you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that this video has touched your life in some way. I hope that this video can impact many lives. I'm so sorry if it was too long for many, but I'm just so thankful, and I'm just so relieved that I can finally speak about my truth and speak about my past. And I hope that I can be used in a different way. And I just ask God to continue guiding me. And I'm just gonna leave you with this message. My pastor has been preaching very well all the time, but Pastor Chuck has been preaching in Isaiah 54. This is kind of our main verse, our main chapter. And I just want to leave you guys with this. Isaiah 54 chapter 54 verse 2. Enlarge the place of your tent and let them stretch out the curtains of your dwelling. Do not spare. Lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes. You guys, sometimes you need to step out of your comfort zone, and you need to do what your heart is telling you to do. And sometimes change is good. Nobody likes change. I personally don't, but sometimes it's for the better. And I am so excited, I'm so happy, and I'm so ready for this new journey that I'll be going on. So this is my wild bunch. This is the Johnson crew here. This is my crew, you guys. This is what it's all about. This is, what's your name?
Sophia.
Sophia what?
Sophia Jackson.
And how old are you?
5.
And what is your name? She is Layla Johnson, and she is 2 years old, right? You're 2? And that's my husband, Michael, back there. He's the one who's caused me all the headaches, but it was worth it, right, babe?
Right.
So yeah, this is the Johnson party of 4. Oh, and this is what it's all about, guys. You want to say something? No? Give me a kiss. Layla, give me a kiss. Babe, give me a kiss. All right, guys. So this is it, and we are out of here. Say peace. Peace. She's crazy.